from the Atco Raceway in Atco, New Jersey, about 30 miles east of Philadelphia, where drag racing and motorsport fans have made their way here to the track, not to see drag racing, but something a little bit shorter, tractor and truck pulling on the Grand National Circuit. This 300-foot course today will be the finals for the 9,000-pound modified of the NTPA Copenhagen-Skoal Pulling Series. It'll be a whale of a show. Let's go to our #1 tractor right now, the Banter Brothers. The Fox. This is a brand new tractor they built for 1989. They hail from LaFontaine, Indiana, running 7 500 cubic inch Chevrolets. He has steel and Rodeck engines on there. The Banter Brothers normally build 1 new tractor a year. Well, they've been 17 times national champions. They'll be the #1 hook here in the 9,000-pound modified finals. The top 10 gathered here this afternoon at Atco Dragway. The track has been watered. There's more moisture in the track than earlier today. We've got a hot sun beating down on the track. Dave Banter puts the visor down, lines it up on the right-hand side. Here it comes. He backs out of it right here at the end. That is tough sledding. He really ripped that track up. He screamed those engines, but he was never able to pick up the front end. Dave Banter just pulling off the track, taking off his Nomex and helmet. Dave, I saw you give the high sign over there to one of your track officials. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a good run. That track's softer than what they thought it was going to be. You know, we had to add some water to it, and I was down in the track quite a bit. I think it'll be a good run. I really do.
You think some guys will go by you?
Well, if it dries out a little bit, they'll have to get out of the hole a little bit, but they're going to have to earn it.
Still had a little trouble picking up the front end.
Yeah, well, once I kicked it, she lifted it, and that's when I wanted to. I wanted to stay down that first 50, 60 feet, you know, to try to get things leveled out and go, so I think it'll be a good run.
Dave Banter was our first tractor down the track at 266 feet and 2 inches. 9 more to go in the class when we come back. After 2 days of eliminations here at Atco Dragway, we're back this afternoon with the top 10 in the 9,000-pound modified finals, the first time that it's ever been held in NTPA competition. Dave Banter holds the lead now at 266 and 2. Coming up next, the legendary Art Arfons. Art Arfons with the Green Monster is equipped with 2 General Electric T64 turbine engines with approximately 9,000 horsepower. Art, of course, became really legendary, not on the drag strip so much, but at the Bonneville Salt Flats, when he went over 550 miles an hour. The distance to beat now, 266 and 2. Dave Banter takes the early lead here in the 9,000-pound modified finals. So Art Arfons lines up the sled on the right-hand side, the Busch Green Monster. He rolls it out about 10 feet before he really gets at the throttle. Now he's on his way. Art Arfons running right down the center of the track. He's got some speed up here this afternoon at Atco. He's on it. It's a good run so far. He's coming close to the end. And it looks like it's going to be a full pull for Art Arfons. That last 20 feet came very difficult for him as he came down the track. But a good run. It's going to be close to the end of the track. Art, it was really a good run. It looks like you're just short of the 300-foot line, but still, you'll take that any day, won't you?
You bet. I don't have to run again.
All right. Early here, the track is a little bit on the damp side. Do you think there'll be some full pulls later on in the class?
I'm almost sure of it, Dave.
Okay, now you made a real nice start, and sort of the tractor slid over to the center of the track. Was that by design?
No, it went where it wanted to.
Art Arfons now is the leader at 295, and watch out, here comes the big one from Indiana, Tim ENGLER from Princeton. Tractor called Mission Impossible, 7 supercharged Chevrolets. You know, it was just a year ago that Tim ENGLER was running the Aries engines, but those are $30,000 a pop, and it was getting very expensive. So Tim backed off, stuck with 7 engines, but went to Chevrolets. Tim ENGLER builds a lot of chassis and engines for other pullers throughout the Midwest, and considered possibly the #1 modified driver and tractor in the country today. Although it's been an uphill battle this weekend with eliminations and trying to catch Art Arfons. So Tim Engler has an excellent chance to do that. 295 is our leader, Arfaz, with Engler on the line. He has gone to the left-hand side of the track. Here he comes. Tim Engler really throws up a pile of dirt. He is way short of Arfaz. He backed out of the throttle twice on the starting line, trying to set those tires. He never got a good bite into the track, never was able to use all of that horsepower. Tim, you come up about 40 feet short of Art Arfaz. The obvious question is, you've got a lot of horsepower, but why the difference in the performance of Art's tractor and your tractor?
Well, the biggest difference is today, Art's tractor can get the front end up. Yes, we got the front end up, but we're so heavy, and you see me come out of the throttle 2 or 3 different times to get it to come up. We even had the top motor shut off trying to load the tractor to the ground, and that's part of tractor pulling. If your tractor's built light enough on the front end, you can get it up and make it work, and that's what works good on this type of a sandy, loose type track. Most of the tracks we run on take more true horsepower and front end weight. That's what we have our tractor designed for.
Backing into the sled now, John HILEMAN, the farmer from Rockford, Ohio. This professional driver has the LEVI GARRETT 5-engine tractor with 527 cubic inch Rodex. Now, John has adapted well to this track previously in elimination rounds. He may have a good shot to chase Art Arfaz this afternoon. Arfaz is in the lead at 295. Here comes HILEMAN now coming off the line. He buries it. He's on his way. HILEMAN picking up the front end. He's looking good. He's gained a lot of speed. He's flying down the track at the full pole. Full pole for Johnny HILEMAN. And he takes the lead. He takes the lead from Art Arfaz. So the internal combustion engines return in the #1 spot, at least temporarily. Well, John HILEMAN has just delighted the fans here at Atco Raceway with a spectacular full pull. And, John, that had to feel good.
Oh, the tractor's working super. It's Tim Engler chassis, you know. It's just working super. I come out there about 50 feet when I leaned on them Rodex. Oh, man, you talk about coming to life. I just wish LEVI GARRETT could bear to watch the machine work, you know.
Well, Art Arfaz that had the lead at just short of a full pull, and you came out and blasted by that difference. Tim Engler told us earlier that his tractor just wasn't matched to this kind of track, but yours seems to be.
Oh, yeah, I got less front-end weight with a 5-motor configuration. The gear ratio is perfect. I worked on the tires last week for sand because I knew we was coming out here in the sand country. And things are working. The tractor's working perfect. It's just a thrill of drive when things work this good, you know. And
John HILEMAN with a spectacular run. He takes the early lead here in the 9,000-pound modified finals. 6 more to go in the class, and up next is Steve JASKE with the Miller High Life Special, running the 5 Aries engines. You got to be looking at somewhere around $125,000 to $150,000 in engines alone. These are 640 cubic inch Aries. West Coast Motors, as they say. He's from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Well, the Miller High Life team now going to the opposite side of the track, and I think you'll see a lot of the drivers switching from one side to the other. Will this track hold up? That still seems to be a big question, but maybe more importantly, who has the tractors matched to this kind of surface? Art Arfaz certainly was an early leader, but now John HILEMAN has taken over the lead here with a full pull. Steve JASKE will give it a full throttle. Steve JASKE will fall short. JASKE going high on the front. Here again, the drivers are taking a chance, moving a lot of their weight to the rear to get traction on the rear tires. And in a 9,000-pound modified finals like this, with all the big money in the line, you take some chances. Up next, Wayne KEEFE from Hebron, Connecticut. Sudden Thunder running 5 454 supercharged Chevys. Very similar to the same setup of John HILEMAN. HILEMAN in the lead with a full pull. Here comes Wayne. And Wayne KEEFE has made a spectacular pull here this afternoon. A great run, not a lot of speed, but excellent power right down where it counted. That'll put him solidly in the number 3 position. When we talk about playing in the dirt, we really mean it. And this is one sport that needs good dirt. The track is a little sandy here, so the drivers are concerned about getting a good bite. The track is not compacting very well, so the loose track conditions allow the big tires to really throw up a lot of dirt. That's why it's taking them a little extra time to get the tractors off the track. Here's the Sassy Massey, driven by Bill Patterson. Bill lives in Richfield Springs, New York. The Sassy is headquartered in Ware, New Hampshire, probably the #1 New England tractor, although Wayne Keefe has looked strong here this afternoon with Sudden Thunder. They're running 6 JP1 Hemi engines, 500 cubic inch each. Bill Patterson now has got a long road ahead of him, 300 feet. This track is a tricky track. Let's see what the Sassy Massey can do. And the Sassy Massey has made a full pull here this afternoon in one whale of a job of driving. Sassy Massey of Bill Patterson has laid down a spectacular run. Starting on the right-hand side as they shut off the fuel here on these big JP1, all 6 of them probably burning somewhere around 25 gallons of alcohol. What do you think now as you get ready for the pull-off later on this afternoon, what you'll have to do differently than you did the first round?
I think the big thing today is going to be patience. If you can walk it off the line, I mean, you're awful itchy to let this horsepower go, but if you let it go, you're going to dig yourself a hole. So I think patience is going to be a virtue today, and I hope I've got that virtue.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, here comes Dave Banter. You'll remember it was Dave Banter early in the class as our #1 hook when he ran his brand new 7 Chevrolets. He made a pull of 266 and 2. So David Banter now gets a second chance this afternoon, of course, with their second tractor. He has a little more experience with this machine. He's run it a couple of years, and of course he is running with 1 less engine. Will the horsepower of the 6 Chevrolets match up to the track better than the horsepower of the 7 that he had early in the class? All right, back up to the sled. David Banter and Mr. Chevy. Here comes the 6 Chevrolets off the line. Picking up that front end. He's on it. Here he comes. And David Banter has really redeemed himself this afternoon. Evidently, Dave Banter, you learned something from your first run.
Oh, yeah, you know, the track come around, I was first in the other one, the first tractor, you know, and the track made a change, and that's the advantage, I guess.
Now, obviously, you had less horsepower in this tractor than you had in the Fox. Did that help a little bit, getting matched up to the track?
Yeah, this one, I've run this tractor for 3 years. The other one's it's like a young one, you know, and only run it a half a dozen times. I don't have that other one just quite like I want her yet.
Here comes the Dusty Diamond pulling team. Mike Holden, who has pulled with the NTPA for over 20 years. Mike hails from Marietta, Ohio, one of the early settlements in the New World, down in the southern part of the Buckeye State, right along the Ohio River. Now, this tractor is running 3 Allison aircraft engines, and if you want to count the number of cubic inches, all you got to do is multiply 1,710 times 3. Mike has always stuck with the big Allisons. I said, Mike, it looks like an awful lot of work to keep those engines working. And he said, well, not all that much. He said, after Sunday, I take him back to my shop at home where he's a vocational agriculture teacher, and I let the kids work on them in school. He says it gives them a lot of practice. All right, let's see if the practice has paid off for Mike Holden here at Atco. He comes off the line. And Mike Holden backs out of it. Mike looks, or sounds like rather, might have lost an engine coming down the track. Well, Ted here is tangling with some pretty heavy horsepower, but don't be surprised if these 3 Rodex come to life and put him right down the track in fine fashion. The right matchup of horsepower to this sandy track has proven to be the ideal conditions today. here this afternoon, the Montgomery, Maryland puller with Ramblin' Rose running the 3.557 Rodex, and he digs himself into the track about a foot as well. When we come back, we'll go to that pull-off here in the 9,000-pound Copenhagen-Skoal Modified Finals.
When truck and tractor pulling all began, it was a fantasy. From the farm tractors to the multi-engine powerhouse, never has pulling been so competitive as on the Grand National level.
Oh my word, it looks like we've got our leader this afternoon.
Come to an NTPA Copenhagen-Skoal Pulling Circuit event and witness competition like you've never seen before. Joining us at an NTPA Grand National event guarantees you action-packed pulling with some of the biggest names in the sport. Look for the next NTPA sanctioned pull near you. As Power Pack Motorsports continues its coverage of pulling events, remember, your favorite shows are now available on VHS. Please include show requested.
Go to crunch time for the first place money here this afternoon at Atco for the NTPA Grand National Championship in the 9,000-pound modified. This will be the pull-off. We started with 10, we're down to 3. Coming up first, John Heilman with the LEVI Garrett Ohio Gold. John Heilman needs this win in a big way. He's had a long dry streak in the NTPA Grand National Copenhagen-Skoal Series, and the Ohio puller needs a win to stay alive here in the points race. John with the LEVI Garrett tractor will fire up on the left-hand side of the track. He'll try to ease it out the first 10 to 15 feet and let her loose. Here he comes. Well, John Heilman started out on the left-hand side, and the tractor immediately slid to the right. That is not by design. The tractor will normally move one way or the other. They try to just use their brakes sparingly so it does not go out of bounds. And he's in the enviable position of being number one here this afternoon with a pull of 247 and 7. Up next, the Sassy Massey. The Sassy Massey, who started out early in the season with a couple of big wins at the Indy Super Bowl in Indianapolis, now come to the line here, one of 3 tractors in the pull-off. Heilman now in the lead at 247 and 7. Here comes one of the top drivers on the NTPA circuit, Bill Patterson out of Richfield Springs, New York. He'll let it all loose here in the pull-off. Like Bill Patterson got a little nervous in the seat. He backed out of the throttle as he came down the track and took a couple of strong jolts. I don't think anything happened to the tractor, but I believe that he might have gotten a little nervous. This is it. This is for the #1 money right here. And standing in the way of that #1 money between John Heilman and first place is this puller, David Banter. Well, the Banter brothers don't have to contend with Art Arfons or Tim Engler right now, but they do have to contend with a shaky track and a couple of good runs by Heilman and Bill Patterson. The distance to beat is Heilman's 247 and 7. Bill Patterson is in second at 229 and 3. Well, David Banter certainly made his best run of the 2 tractors that they have with Mr. Chevrolet. The 7-engine tractor just did not hook up, but this 6 Chevrolet machine certainly did. Here he comes, Dave Banter on the final run. Oh, my word, it looks like we've got a leader here this afternoon. It's close to call. He's right on the 250-foot mark. Well, David Banter has eked it out here this afternoon at Atco by just 2 inches over John Heilman. Congratulations, Dave. What a big win for the Banter brothers.
Yeah, it sure is. You know, that's close when Heilman was out here. You know, I didn't really think I had him there for a while, but it was a good run.
As your tractor came down the track, it really twisted the freight.
Well, I really got hooked in. When I hit the brake, she hooked in, my RPMs come up, and then she just torques right up. You know, when you get them hooked in that tight, that's a little tighter than you want them hooked sometimes.
Well, the Banter brothers have had some pretty stiff competition, rather, here in the last couple of years, and you guys needed this win today.
Yeah, well, you know, we're in catch-up right now. You know, we run on top a lot for many years, and we got down a year or so, and now we're playing catch-up, and we're gaining on them.
Even on a sandy track, they'll take them any way they come.
That's right. You know, I kind of like sand anyway.
For everybody with wheel power, I'm Dave Grimm. Hope you've had a good time on our telecast of tractor and truck pulling. So long, everybody.